This is an election night update from WCIA 3 News, your local election headquarters.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen Lask, and we are going to be covering all of your local elections, state, federal as well, and we want to kick off tonight on our digital live stream with Mark Maxwell, who joins us live in Taylorville. Now, Mark, you have been following the Rodney Davis, Betsy Dirksen-Londrigan campaign for months, I mean years really, since this is a rematch from 2018. Tell us what's going on right now.
Well, Jen, it's funny you mentioned that. Congressman Rodney Davis just walked over here. He's about to meet with reporters in the press. He's live with us here. I know I'm not wearing a mask, Congressman, you are, but just quickly, how do you feel tonight going into this race?
You know, I feel great, Mark. We feel like you look at what we've done on the ground. We've made over 1 million voter contacts. We like the data that's come back to us throughout this campaign. We feel a surge of voters have gone out throughout this district, and we think we're going to have the best chance to win tonight.
And I know you're going to talk to the press here in just a moment. We'll take our cameras in there with you to hear some of your remarks. But for our audience watching online right now, set our expectations for the timeline. A lot of people are wondering how this election might be different than usual, considering all those mail-in ballots that are out there. How is your campaign going to be watching that data as it comes in tonight?
Well, you know, the good thing is you have data on that data now. So you kind of know what the partisan breakdown of those ballots are. We feel really good about where that's at. And we like the fact that a lot of areas in this district are experiencing historic turnout. I want everybody to vote. I don't care who you vote for. Let's exercise our right to vote. Go out the next few hours. Make sure you get your voice heard.
And we've tried to cover your race closely, you and your challenger, but I don't know if I've ever asked you this question in 2 years. Take us back to 2 years ago when CNN calls the race for your opponent early that night. What was going through your mind in that moment?
Well, what was going through my mind was, did my team enter something on the spreadsheet I was looking at wrong? Because we were winning. And, you know, we finally went back through those numbers again, figured out they were accurate, and CNN realized it too, and immediately called, you know, a few minutes later, they took it back.
And I'll let you get into the reporters there in just a second. Our last question, though, we've done a lot of the debates, we've done a lot of the coverage back and forth and heard from you, but what's at stake here as the country watches President Trump, Vice President Biden facing off tonight? Do you expect to hear a concession speech or a victory speech from either of those candidates tonight, or what do you expect from the candidates at the top of the ticket running for the White House?
Well, after 2016, I don't know what to expect, and I don't think America knows what to expect. But what I don't want to see is I don't want to see if a candidate loses that's not your candidate. I don't want to see buildings have to be boarded up in some of our communities in this country. Let's remember, we're Americans first and Democrats and Republicans second. And we here in America, what makes us great, what makes us the envy of the world, is the way that we have peaceful transitions of power. Now, I certainly hope we don't have a transition of power when it comes to the White House. But in the end, we've got to make sure that we stand up and realize we're all Americans first.
All right, Congressman Rodney Davis, thank you for joining us. We'll catch up with you inside with your team in just a moment. Jen, we heard it there first. The first interview with Congressman Davis today. There's a number of reporters here. We'll be staked out all night. The Democrat Betsy Dirksen-Londrigan in this race is holding up with her campaign headquarters, joining us remotely and virtually online. We know that they are counting on big turnout, voter turnout on college campuses as well. There's been a big push down the stretch to try to help mail-in ballots arrive. People need to drop those off at the boxes. Those polls close here at 7 o'clock, and that's what we're watching for. We'll have much more continuing coverage online, here, and on the air at WCIA at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and after the polls close all night long. Jen?
All right, thank you, Mark. We'll let you get back in there so that you can hear the rest of Congressman Davis's remarks to the press. But for everyone else who is tuning in tonight, we are going to be having coverage throughout the evening. We will be covering this on Facebook. You can find us on our news app on WCIA.com. We are going to be checking in with different reporters as well. You just heard from Mark Maxwell, our political bureau chief. And coming up in just a few minutes, we are going to be getting ready to speak with Cole Hinkey, and he is going to be talking a bit about the U.S. Senate race, Senator Durbin up for re-election. Now, one of the other things I just want to remind people, you heard Mark talking about how polls will be staying open until 7 o'clock. If you are in line at the time that the polls close, you are able to stay in line, and that is something that we have been hearing from election officials, from politicians as well. Make sure that you are staying in line if you are still there when those polls close. But again, we will be bringing you coverage here throughout the night. We also will be bringing you coverage on air with Jennifer Roscoe and Paul Cicchini kicking things off at 5 and 6 tonight. So we are going to be stepping out for just a moment, and when we come back, we will be talking with Cole Hankey. We'll also be talking with our reporter Lindsey Jones about what goes into counting ballots on a night that's like no other election in the past. Thanks for watching, and we'll be right back.